My family doesn't know I'll go no contact with them in 2025. Ever since I was a kid, I've thought about it. I'm 23 now and I'm more sure than ever about this. My mother is very close with all her siblings and does everything to avoid conflict. It's difficult because she has two older sisters, I'll refer to them as Aunt A and Aunt B, who take advantage of the fact that everyone avoids conflict. Even as a kid, I was always uncomfortable and anxious around them. They would embarrass me in front of everyone for not being Asian enough. But that was mild, it just got worse as I got older. Aunt A works in an office for all of our state's affiliated universities. She has access to every student's profile. On my 18th birthday, before any admission decisions had been released, she called my mom and I and told us that I didn't get into any of the universities I applied to. A few years later, when I was admitted into my top choice after going to community college and reapplying weeks before any admission decisions were released, Aunt A told everyone in my family, except my mother and I, that I had got into my top choice universities. For the weeks leading up to the decision, she kept taunting me and asking what I'd do if I didn't get in. I live in the US, I'm pretty sure this was illegal. When I got in and told my family, they all said they knew, so no one was really surprised or even cared that I had worked my bottom off and got a huge scholarship to go to one of the best universities in the country. But what finally broke me is when my mom was diagnosed with cancer and underwent chemo. I did everything I could to take care of her while balancing my schoolwork and doing everything to reassure her that she was still the beautiful and wonderful mother that I loved, even with all the surgeries and loss of hair. But Aunt A and Aunt B would always make fun of her lost hair and surgeries whenever she'd see her, so my mom lost even more of her confidence and didn't want to be seen by anyone. Her cancer eventually went away, thank goodness, but she's still growing back her hair and those two aunts still make fun of her. No one stands up to them because they don't want to start a fight, and the one time my mother stood up for herself, the two aunts started crying and guilt-tripping her. On top of that, every time they see me, which up until a few months ago was multiple times a week, they'd make fun of how I look, how I stand, how I'm not Asian enough, how I'm clumsy, anything they could think of. Years off pain and seeing how they treated my mother during her cancer have let me see that I don't want to be surrounded by a family who values harmony over individual happiness. I don't want to be surrounded by people who get mad if I speak up, but not when I'm slighted. I've already gone low contact and I don't come home if my aunts are visiting, even if they overstay their welcome and don't leave until 9 p.m. Honestly, I'm happier this way. Even my coworkers notice how much happier I've been as well, and even my anxiety attacks have decreased. In February 2025 I'll be at a comfortable amount of savings, so I'll start apartment hunting and hopefully be moved out by end of March. I'll still be in touch with my mother and still see her often. As for everyone else, I don't think I'll ever see them again, especially those two aunts. It may not be easy and the holidays may hurt, but I think this is what I need in the long run.